You want a dreamy quarterback matchup? You got it. Patrick Mahomes versus Justin Herbert. Simply put, one of the best quarterback matchups of the year. And the two young superstars take center stage tonight on Thursday Night Football. We said on Time to Shine right after the schedule was released, this was as dreamy a Thursday night matchup as we have all year. I can't wait for Herbert and Mahomes. We are talking about two of the five best quarterbacks in the National Football League. We are talking about a couple of quarterbacks who are just dreamy in every possible way. Athleticism, arm strength, accuracy, smart, savvy, leadership. These guys are the entire package, and they're both historic. Look, Justin Herbert, in terms of his first 2 years as a quarterback in the NFL, not exaggeration to say he's off to the best start after 2 years of any quarterback in the history of the National Football League. Now, Keenan Allen is not going to be available. He's out tonight for the Chargers. I think Keenan Allen is a star. I'm not going to hot take this. I don't think it matters. I think Justin Herbert can and will win this game even without Keenan Allen. Last week, you saw Justin Herbert throw to 11 different targets. Now, beating Patrick Mahomes in the month of September, that's very difficult to do. You know what? Justin Herbert's already done it. And as majestic as Patrick Mahomes was last week, this is a totally different challenge. I know it's a home game. I know it's at Arrowhead. Tough place to play. But playing the Arizona Cardinals defense, that's like going up against air. Tonight, he has to face superstars on defense. He has to face Khalil Mack. He has to face Derwin James. He has to face Joey Bosa. And obviously, Brandon Staley, this is a hugely important game for him. Remember last year on a Thursday night in Los Angeles when the Chargers were 8-5 and thinking they were going to go into the postseason, Brandon Staley kept going for two and going for it on fourth down. Now he has a complete team. He has a defense. He has a superstar quarterback who's as good or better than Patrick Mahomes, and he's already beaten Patrick Mahomes in September in Arrowhead. This is going to be a classic tonight. Justin Herbert is beating Patrick Mahomes. In a lengthy social media post today, Roger Federer announced that he is retiring from professional tennis, saying the Laver Cup next week will be his final event. The 41-year-old Roger Federer will depart the sports as a 20-time Grand Slam champion, spending 5 seasons during the course of his career ranked as the #1 player in the world. Winner of more than 100 singles titles. He is a true all-time great. 237 straight weeks ranked as #1. That is a ridiculously amazing accomplishment. Won 82% of his matches in his career. Look, this is a very emotional time to be a tennis fan. First Serena, now Federer. Look, I've always been of the opinion that Djokovic is the greatest men's tennis player of all time, and Nadal has more in terms of the Grand Slams, but there has been throughout the last 20 years a case to be made for either of the three to ultimately be considered the greatest of all time. What an unbelievable run for Roger Federer. Really just high peak times here for men's tennis. Obviously, he referenced it, the age, the injuries, the ailments. This is an end of an unbelievable era. I don't consider him the GOAT. That's Djokovic. But Federer was just unbelievable. Always handled his business with class. Congrats to Roger Federer on being one of the greatest ever to play tennis. Of course the Mets need to play better. The Mets just got swept by the lowly and pathetic Cubs. Well, if the Cubs are lowly and pathetic, what does that make the Mets? How about a mess, a disaster? This is a flat-out fiasco. The Cubs, a 6-run first, en route to a sweep of the Mets in New York. It is crazy when you take a look at the National League East standings. And if the Braves could get out of their own way, the Braves would be in first by 4 or 5 games. It's wild when you consider after the Mets beat the Dodgers, setting up Labor Day weekend, they had series. It's like they called the league and wanted to schedule their own games. They had a series against Washington and Pittsburgh and Miami and the Cubbies. All teams that are 20 games under 500. And the Mets, you see it 4-7 since September 3rd. What a disaster. So, in theory, and they had all these great series and all these great easy games. I mean, should the Mets win these games? Every single one. Every single one starting tonight against the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates. But, the schedule is easy. But the way the Mets are playing, there's no reason to trust them. This team all year, you felt as if they had this unbelievable moxie, toughness, talent, pitching. The difference between winning the division and being a wild card team nowadays in Major League Baseball is everything. I love the new playoff format. I love the fact that the first and second seed in each league, they get a bye, and that's what the Mets need. They need Scherzer, obviously, to be healthy, and if you have Scherzer and DeGrom, you are going to be a force in the postseason. You need Marte to get back. You need him to be healthy. If the Mets blow this is going to be catastrophic. Going from the 2 seed and a division winner to being a road team in the playoffs and having to play in the wild card rounds, boy, the New York Mets are an absolute mess. They have picked the worst possible time to play their worst baseball of the season. Time to shine. Let's shine at some football on a Thursday. Aaron Rodgers says he isn't going to change how he plays, and I love that. And why would he? This is a 4-time NFL MVP who's won back-to-back years. And listen, I think that Rodgers is going to keep doing his thing. And I think that you have to look at Christian Watson, who dropped that wide-open touchdown, which would have made it 7-7. Listen, Rodgers has made a point that he's going to keep building these guys back up. Dillon and Jones, obviously, they're going to continue to catch it out of the backfield, but Dubes and Watson, they're going to have to bring the goods. And the good news, as we stressed yesterday on Time to Shine, it's a Sunday night game against Chicago, and Rodgers owns them. So I think we're going to see MVP form from Aaron Rodgers, and I think these receivers will come to play because, frankly, there's no other choice when you're working with the greatest thrower of the football of all time. Steelers quarterback Mitchell Trubisky says the Pittsburgh offense needs to have a killer mindset Sunday against the Patriots. I love this. Trubisky added that they were a little conservative because the defense was playing great, and why not with the 4 interceptions of Joe Burrow and forcing the fumble. When it mattered the most, you saw Mitch step up and make plays in overtime, and I think Trubisky is going to light up, absolutely dominate the Patriots defense coming up on CBS on Sunday. No TJ Watt, so the defense with Micah Fitzpatrick will still be good, but you need the offense with Trubisky throwing it to Chase Claypool and to Deontay Johnson and my guy George Pickens to be even better, and I firmly believe Trubisky is up for it. How about this motivation from Bucs head coach Todd Bowles, telling his team there's no rivalry with the Saints unless at the end of the day there's some give and take. Whoa. Bucs are 0-4 against New Orleans in the Tom Brady era. That's in the regular season. Of course, Brady did beat the Saints in Drew Brees' final game. But I love that Bowles is pushing these buttons. Look, Tom Brady was kind of pedestrian against Dallas in week number 1. Look, you don't have to wait for the Friday pick segment. You know I'm picking New Orleans, just like I picked them to win the division preseason. Absolutely thrilled to be joined by my guy, CBS Sports play-by-play voice extraordinaire, Andrew Catalon. And Andrew, you had a front row seat to Lamar Jackson's Week 1 performance against the Jets. What impressed you the most from the former NFL MVP in Week 1?
Adam, great to be with you. And I think if you're a Ravens fan, there's a lot to like about that week one performance, even though they started off slow. And keep in mind, John Harbaugh didn't play any of his guys in the preseason, didn't want to take any chances after the injuries they had all last year in the preseason. But no left tackle in Ronnie Stanley. And actually, Jawan James, the backup, got hurt early. So they were down to their third string left tackle. J.K. Dobbins didn't play. And after a slow start, Lamar Jackson found Devin Duvernay twice, and that's a big key for Baltimore this year. We know Mark Andrews is going to have a big year. You know Dobbins will eventually get back. But Kenyon Drake was his primary running back, a guy who wasn't even on the team 2 weeks ago. And they are missing Marquise Brown after the trade to Arizona. So the missing piece is who's going to step up at wide receiver. It was Duvernay on Sunday. I think there's a lot to build on for that Baltimore offense, especially as they get healthy over the next few weeks.
Totally agree. Meanwhile, the Broncos head home. They take on the Texans on CBS on Sunday. You'll be calling the game. What do you expect from Russell Wilson in his home opener after such an emotional week number one?
Hey, Adam, I think the preseason and who plays is such a big piece of the puzzle these days. And I think we saw a lot of sloppy play week one around the NFL. And I know you could tell me the Rams won the Super Bowl last year without playing their guys in the preseason. But to that end, I'll point to the Buffalo Bills this year. New offensive coordinator in Ken Dorsey. Sean McDermott wanted to see some of his guys with Dorsey and the ones in the preseason, and they played. And I know hindsight's 20/20, but Denver with a new head coach, two new coordinators, and a new quarterback, how do you not test that out in the preseason just to run through some of the mechanics, if nothing else? So I think that the key for Denver was getting that rust out in week one, get in a rhythm early. And let's face it, Russell Wilson didn't have a bad game on Monday night. His running backs fumbled twice at the 1 yard line. I just think mechanically some things were off. And I think if they get in a good rhythm early on Sunday against Houston, we'll see a different story.
It's a great point about playing in the preseason. And you're right, Russ did play well in Seattle. We all know what happened at the goal line a couple of times and what happened at the end. Now, with that said, what are you looking forward to talking to Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett about in the CBS production meeting this weekend?
I'm going to ask him if he reads the newspaper, because every single newspaper article this week in Denver is still, understandably so, talking about that decision. Look, I think it goes back to the preseason, not going through it. I think that could have really helped Denver in that situation. But I want to know mechanically what, if anything, will change, because, Adam, they had 2 delay of game penalties on offense. And according to Broncos beat writer Ryan O'Halloran, who does a great job, they snapped the ball with 1 on the play clock 13 times. And Hackett admitted that the plays were coming in too late. And that's something they have to correct. They can't go back and decide to go for it on 4th and 5. That's history. But they have to get the communication and the mechanics down better this week. And I think that's one thing I want to know if anything's going to change compared to Monday night.
You had a chance to call the action for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen in the preseason. What makes my guy Josh Allen such a special talent?
Adam, I've been doing the Bills preseason for 7 summers now, so I've had a great glimpse of what they've built up there. And it started with Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, the general manager, building a culture. But now that that culture is in place, you need someone to ensure it, to police it in the locker room. And Josh Allen is everything that you want your quarterback to be in that situation. I can't think of a better GM, coach, and QB in sync than Beane, McDermott, and Allen right now. Josh Allen embodies what that Buffalo community is. He loves the fans. And in that locker room, he has the ultimate respect. And if you don't play by their rules, the new Buffalo rules, you're not going to be on the team very long. You're not going to have success. They have something very special in Buffalo, and Allen is the leader of that right now.
I love that when you talk about the coach, the GM, and the quarterback. Now, Andrew, before I let you go, I am being told we have some breaking news I want you to respond to. This just in, Andrew Catalon is the newest member of the WAER Syracuse Hall of Fame. Your reaction on this incredible news?
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. Congrats on making it to the WAER Syracuse University Hall of Fame, my friend. You're the best.
Wow, that's really special. Thank you, Adam. It means a lot coming from you. We both went to WAER, and I was the guy for your induction, and that's overwhelming. That means a lot to me. WAER means the world to me. Syracuse does. That's where I met you. So many great friends that I'm still in touch with at WAER, and that's really neat that you did that this way, and I really appreciate it. That means the world.
Of course. Ian Eagle, Marv Albert, Bob Costas, Marty Glickman, Mike Tirico, Sean McDonough, Andrew Catalan. I'm telling you, I got the chills up and down. Congratulations. No one deserves it more than you. Thanks, as always, for joining us. Have fun on the CBS broadcast with the Broncos and the Texans this weekend. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.